we talk about leaders in sport, Jack, and it was a day when South Liberties had leaders all over the field. Anthony Nash in goal, Barry Nash, the Ryan brothers, Conor McSweeney, like especially when he went back in defence. Hey, they led from the front. Owen Godfrey, it was it was a proud day for South Liberties and a day in which they deserved to make it to a first semi-final since 1985.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the big name players there, and they really stood up and led by example, and the rest followed suit then. But as you said, thoroughly deserving of their win. But you're going from the pit into the fire now, and you have the Piarsaigh next, the ultimate acid test in Limerick hurling. That game is this Saturday at 3:30 in Kilmallock. But for South Liberties, it's bonus territory now. A few will give them a chance against the Piarsaigh, but you heard Barry say after the game that they went in the game against Ballybrown, just hoping for the best and hoping that they could possibly get into quarterfinal. Now they're in a semi-final, and after the performance they showed last week, they'll have no fear playing the Piarsaigh.
No. And South Liberties are travelling to Kilmallock on Saturday, not to make up numbers. As you said, they're in bonus territory, and in many ways you could say it's possibly a free pass for them. But I think they're going to give it a right good shot, Jack. I honestly do. Like their tails are up now, and they have the advantage, Jack, and it's only a slight advantage, but they have the advantage of having a recent game under their belts, albeit it was only it will only have been 6 days earlier. But the Na Piarsaigh have been essentially idle for practically a month, haven't they? So
Yeah.
I think that will carry a certain bit of an advantage. But of course, when you talk about Na Piarsaigh, Jack, you're talking about a star-studded cast that they have. Yeah, when you look down through the players, I was looking down through the panel and doing the preview this week, and by God, there's stars everywhere. They're falling out to you, and young players coming through, and like I think the last day out, Jerome Byland was only named in the subs, and you fellas like him and David Breen in the subs, that type of thing, that type of power and experience, they're a very, very, very powerful outfit, and they seem to be absolutely determined this year to get back the title they last won in 2020. And they are going to make it extremely, extremely difficult for South Liberties. But as you said, it is the ultimate test, and it's the ultimate benchmarking that South Liberties can do. They will leave Kilmallock on Saturday evening, one way or another, win or lose, and they will know exactly the level they have to get to be at the top in Limerick hurling.
Yeah, and the Piarsaig's consistency is just incredible when you think about it. That it seems every second year they win the championship, and once they went back to back. And I suppose in a knockout championship game outside of Patrick Swell in 19 and 21, they haven't been beaten by anyone since, was it Kilmallock in the 14 final? Once they get into the knockout stages, they're so hard to beat that if you were involved in the Liberties camp, how would you go about stopping the Card?
Well, they were beaten by Patrick Swell last year in the semi-final.
Yeah, no, I'd say outside of Patrick Swell, who've beaten them twice,
Yeah,
in the semi and
yeah,
the final.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
other teams can't seem to get the win over them in knockout games. That if you were
yeah.
involved, how would you set out your stall in trying to, I suppose, not only stop them but get the win on the other end?
Yes, it's not going to be easy, but the important thing will for South Liberties to maximise their chances, I think, are do what they have been doing in recent games and see where it takes them.
Yeah, I suppose they.
Because if you're to be developing a strategy to curtail Peter Casey, if you're going to be a strategy to curtail Kevin Downs, if you're a strategy to contain Willem O'Donoghue, to pull Mike Casey out from the edge of the square, you're departing from what you've been doing for the last couple of weeks. And what you've been doing for the last couple of weeks has been successful.
Yeah, and I suppose one big thing I thought from South Liberty's last day was brought huge intensity in the early part of the game, and also the entire second half. They're going to have to be in, I suppose, in the Piarsaigh faces and bring the game to them. But it's a free hit and it's a really dangerous game for Na Piarsaigh. You mentioned that layoff of a month, and we'll get to their footballers in a while who successfully navigated that. But you can't beat championship games at this time of the year realistically.
No. And of course, Jack, since Na Piarsaigh last played, the grounds have got heavier and
Yeah.
the going is heavier. And come this time of the year, even if you have a dry spell, the grounds still tend to be heavy, because it takes so much trying to dry them out to the way they were, and we'll say when the ball was hopping in the summertime. So that in itself, Jack, it evens it up a bit, you know. But you would have to say at this remove that it's a huge task for South Liberties, and they like it's a county semi-final, and county semi-finals normally bring pressure, but because of because it's Na Piarsaigh, they will come. Um, uh, Liberties will come under no pressure. I feel that they'll be prepared to give it a right go, 1 to 15, and see where it takes them.
Yeah, and I think that has to be the approach they take, to just not have any regrets and just take the game on its merits, give their best, and hope, like, if it goes well, they'll be in a county final, and if it doesn't, they've already ended a 37-year wait for a semi-final. So you'd imagine, for their point of view, it's job done already, and here is bonus
Yeah,
territory.
they probably would be disappointed, Jack, that that they haven't been promoted for next year.
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
it would give them an opportunity to be playing at that level. Would say for the entire group stage of the competition, but it is what it is. But whatever the outcome on Saturday, they will be buoyed up by it, and they're going to be a formidable force come the championship in 2023 in Section B.
Yeah, you already have them installed as favourites, even though we don't know who's going to be promoted. But and obviously UVA are coming down, but they will be favourites for next year's championship. But for now, they'll certainly give it a rattle, and who knows? Like, not many would have tipped him against Patrick's well, but I know, I suppose, the Piarsaigh this year is another step up.